Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica, our long-running series, Unported playlist, where we take a look at some of my favorite unported arcade games of all time. And today we got a wild one for you guys. It's Asian Dynamite EX, also known as Dynamite Deka EX, Asian Dynamite. It's a complete reskin for the original Dynamite Deka, made by a Chinese developer to be friendly to the Chinese market. But before we get too far involved, if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. We definitely appreciate your support. And if you feel so inclined to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But this game is just insane. It came out in 2006, which is very late for a Naomi release. They were using the Naomi 2 around that time. And basically what this game does is a Chinese development house reskinned the entire game to be more friendly to a Chinese market. But I don't understand exactly what the Chinese market wants, because this game just makes zero sense, even if it is absolutely incredible to play and to look at. And you'll see all those background elements are just going crazy. And that's not emulation. That is on the original game as well. It just has some strange frame rate pacing issues, but some of the most fun parts of the game are these power-ups. Our character now has 2 pistols, and she's fighting with gun fu. It's basically like a John Woo movie come to life. But if we pick up another power-up, we're now this kind of kabuki makeup character, and it just... everything you're going to see in this game is absurd, it's fun, it's unique. We're in a revolving restaurant now, and I think those are both Macho Man Randy Savage in dresses and wigs. And I don't know what the Chinese market's looking for. I don't know if this is popular in China. If you're a Chinese watcher of my channel, please leave a comment down below and tell me. But it doesn't matter what weirdness is going on in this game, because it's a Sega beat 'em up on the Naomi, which you know means it's going to be a quality game. And it's one of those games that gets joked about a lot because it is so strange, but it is just more beat 'em up goodness from Sega, and we really can't get enough of something like that. And I do see where the Chinese influence comes in. We were in a rotating dim sum restaurant, and that's definitely something that you're going to see in China. I have never been to the mainland, but I've been to Hong Kong many times when I used to work for Burton Snowboards. We had some factories there, and I've definitely been to a lot of dim sum restaurants in Hong Kong, so that setting looks very familiar to me. Now, Asian Jungle Park, on the other hand, doesn't look familiar at all, but what other game can you pick up an entire plate of bananas and just start throwing them at your enemy for damage? All the weapons that you get in this game are just hilarious, and you do get the classic Die Hard arcade style quick time events, although in between each cutscene the screen just goes to black and the transitions are just lazy and terrible, which gives the game even some more charm entirely. But like I said, the fact that this game's supposed to be marketed towards the Chinese market to make it more, friendly to them, I don't really understand that. That's just the story behind why this game exists, and I'm thinking maybe they just wanted to release a game in China and needed a Chinese developer, because for the longest time, releasing gaming hardware in China, you needed to have a business entity there that was representing you, because the Chinese government has so many rules and laws. And honestly, I don't know why I'm talking about Chinese laws in a video game video, but it is just something that happens. And I do love that the environments change. Now we're in this DVD anime shop, and we're fighting this kind of otaku character over in the background who just has his backpack on. He's got his posters, and one of the power-ups for this character is Drunken Monkey Boxing Master. I think that is actually his official name. He kind of has that Jackie Chan drunken fighting style that you see in the movies. But the game reuses a ton of assets. You'll see here, it's 3 different missions, and we're going into the same area in the same methodology, but the different bosses we get to fight are hilarious. First, we're starting in a pachinko parlor, and we're fighting what I assume to be is a Yakuza member, maybe high level, maybe low level, I don't exactly know his rank. But it's just amazingly fun. It's colorful, it's bright, the music is great. Obviously, being a Sega game, the action's good. But then you're fighting a panda in a military costume, and the tires you throw at him explode. It's like watching an Aqua Teen Hunger Force episode where everything's combustible. And then we fight this gigantic safari guy. So each mission mixes up the level format, but you're always going to be seeing around the same areas in the same spots. But the developers skin everything so that you feel like you're playing a completely different experience. So your mileage is going to vary. If you play mission A, B, and C back to back to back like I did, you're probably going to start to get bored towards, mission C. But if you play these, mission A, wait a couple weeks, and then play mission B, you're going to forget most of it and it's going to be super fun. And what other game can you pick up a pepper shaker and use it to hit maids in the eyes with pepper and make them sneeze? What I'm going to let you do is just watch a little bit of the action, hear some of the sound effects. The music's great. Everything about this game is just amazing and makes me smile. But I'll be back in about a minute and we'll finish up with Asian Dynamite EX. But enjoy.
Found her yet? Never mind. It's time.
So now that our main villain has destroyed all those buildings, we're back into the gameplay, and I understand this isn't the best beat 'em up ever made. It's probably middle of the pack. But picking up CRTs and throwing them at your opponents and having them explode is just hilarious. And while I'm playing this game, I have a smile on my face, and I can dwell on that weirdness and really enjoy it. Because what other game can you shoot bullets from your fists? This character will literally reload his arms like guns and shoot at the enemy. You have these tanks that they explode like a nuclear mushroom cloud. And granted, they're just gas tanks. I mean, they would explode in real life, but not like that. But this game just gives you the weird, and you just don't need to think about it too much, because if you start thinking about what's going on in this game, you'll never understand it. If you just play it and enjoy the weirdness, you're going to have a blast, because how many other games let you fight a half cyborg octopus? And granted, this came out in 2006, but it's still Dreamcast era, because the Naomi is just a more powerful Dreamcast. But the late 90s to the early 2000s are when we got all these really strange tongue-in-cheek games that were weird just to be weird. Games like Blue Stinger or Ill Bleed. I love that sort of feeling in a game, and Sega definitely delivered sometimes with it too. And now we're fighting this gigantic stone golem, who is probably one of the more normal enemies in the game. But the power-ups are just crazy. This looks like Gene Simmons if Gene Simmons was an actual demon and also female. You've got this giant tongue hanging out of her, and she has these Freddy Krueger-like blades for hands. And none of the game makes sense, and I'm sure if you're Chinese it doesn't make sense either, but there's a lot of love put in. This QuickTime event, the noodles, that little seafood dish that spits out of his mouth, the way his cheek deforms, a lot of attention was placed into this game, and they just ran with the weird factor, and that's what I love so much. But like I said, mechanically it's also awesome because Sega made it, and Sega makes great 3D beat-em-ups. If you like Die Hard Arcade, if you like Dynamite Cop, you're gonna love Asian Dynamite EX. It emulates really well. There's really enough issue running it, and it's a game that you 100% want to experience for yourself, because not only is it a really competent beat-em-up game, it is some of the most fun you're going to have in gaming, and I love that every once in a while Sega just says, screw it, we're going to do something really strange. Things like Seaman, for instance. And the fact that you can pick up this gigantic lobster, if you see a lobster this big in real life, don't go near it, and you can just beat that chef over the head with it. And what other games are going to let you do that? But short of that, that is Asian Dynamite EX. I've got a real special surprise coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to show this game from start to finish. I'm going to do live commentary over the entire thing, because there's so many things I took out of this video that I really wanted to talk about, but I had to keep the length decent. Like this very colorful, I think again, Hulk Hogan / Macho Man Randy Savage character. But that's the game. If you've never played it, I highly recommend you do so. But if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I love chatting with you guys. But you will see here, our villain is being picked up by that robotic octopus, and he's going to be brought straight to the moon. And how often does that happen? Maybe he's still up there. How would you know? How could you tell? And this ending, game over, just spectacular. But thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll be back next Sunday with another Unported arcade game on Tuesday and Friday with videos as well. But we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.